And so here we are, the last Sunday of the month. It's the 5th one in January. And this weekend really concludes the liturgical Christmas season. That ends on the 2nd of February with the Feast of Candlemas and the Feast of Bridget of Ireland. So there you have it. Christmas is done on the 2nd, but not done ever in our hearts. And like the great Scrooge, you and I are going to keep the spirit of Christmas alive every day of the year. And so we get to conclude now, in this particular way, our wonderful, wonderful revisiting of the basic fundamental principles of science of mind and spirit. And science of mind and spirit is simply the science and the art of spiritual life and living. It is the science and the art that leads to self-revelation, self-realization, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it. It's simply the wakening up of ourselves in the truth that sets us free. That's what it is. And science of mind and spirit, like so many other great journeys with ancient and ever new wisdom, is the vehicle. It's the Aladdin's lamp. When we touch it and truly touch it with the knowing and the feeling of something great and wonderful is about to happen now, it does. And that's simply what science of mind and spirit is all about. It's nothing new. It's just another name for the one truth that always was, is, and will be. And remember, there's really no such thing as ancient truth, or present truth, or tomorrow's truth. Truth is just always is, the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. It's outside of time. It's always just truth. And you and I want to truly embrace that and own that and know that and then let it express itself through us. That's all spiritual journey is about. For anyone, it doesn't matter how you go about it, whatever path you take, it all leads to the same place, back home to yourself, with a capital S. And that journey, although it seems strenuous and arduous and long, is very short indeed. It's right where you are. The beginning of it is, the journey of it is, and the destination of it is right where you are. It's simply the journey of awakening, the remembering of who I am and what I am and whose I am. That's all. And prayer, as we know it here, is one of the pathways we use in order to come home to ourselves. And so prayer for us here in this teaching of science of mind and spirit is just an ever-present energy that lives and moves and has its being in us. It's a sense and sensibility. It's an atmosphere. It is that thing that centers us sufficiently so that we can open up to realizing the good that we desire. And there are different ways to be consciously in prayer. To begin with, my whole life is a prayer. Everything in it is a prayer. And like all prayers, it could be a good one or a bad one or an indifferent one or so on, a conscious one or an unconscious one. But those of us who are on the spiritual path want to be conscious as much as possible, present to our lives and present to our living, so that we can be in control of our lives and living and become masterful in our living and decide consciously and choose consciously how we want to be and what we want to experience and what we want to see and what we want to accomplish and what we want to personally achieve. So I'm going to talk about the way infinite intelligence works today, how that you and I can use it, how we can put it to use, and in doing so, put it to the test. And so the means today that I have chosen is the prayerful way, the prayer-filled way, which is simply a spiritual conscious awareness of where I am, what's going on, and what I wish or choose or desire to happen. All kinds of prayer, the prayer of meditation, the prayer of contemplation, the prayer of action, the prayer of, that's deed, the prayer of affirmative action, which is the prayer that states the truth that I wish to accomplish, and accomplish it if I follow the guidelines. And those guidelines are what I would like to share with you today. Now, there's no one formula for prayer. Understand that. It's a personal thing. You have to come to a way in prayer that works for you. And when I say works for you, gets the results you so desire. Whatever that is. Whatever that is. And there's no particular way, except through the conscious awareness of the good that you desire and your focus on how you're going to, in cooperation with the spiritual law of mind, bring that into being. So we call one of these processes of prayer, we call it spiritual mind treatment. And I love the word treatment, because when you go for a treatment, whether it's to the chiropractor or whatever, or whomever, it means I'm handling something, I'm getting something done, and I have a desired outcome with regard to the treatment. And I know that I'm open and receptive to whatever it is I require, a healing, a fixing, a mending, a knowledge of something, the releasing or letting go of something, whatever that is. So the stages, and there aren't stages like this. The stages are like this. In this prayer, if you want to call it formula, which is an inadequate term to describe it, prayer is a way of being, it's an atmosphere, and it's an energy in which you soak yourself, saturate yourself, open yourself up into, relax into it, and just allow it to do what it does. First step is clarity, get clear. Get clear about what it is you want to realize, what you want to accomplish, what that good is that you desire. Get very, very, very clear about it. And the way we get clear about it is we become still, we become quiet, and we listen. But to get to the stillness and the quietness and to listen, we may have to breathe consciously for a moment or two, or half an hour, or a day, depending on where we are in our energies. But that's what we do. The first step is open yourself up to this possibility. Oh, says the textbook of Science of Mind, there are infinite possibilities everywhere present and available to us, and ours is the privilege of giving birth to them. We do that in prayer. So you get very quiet, you get very still, become very conscious, and you know the good that you desire to manifest in your life, to demonstrate in your life, to realize in your life, to experience in your life. And then you invite the presence in the form of the great Holy Spirit of life, which is the creative law of consciousness, to move upon your desire. You invite it. Oh, Spirit always has to be invited. It'll never come uninvited. It honors your freedom that much. It's not going to interfere with what you are thinking and feeling, and as a result of that, consciously or unconsciously desiring. So when that's clear to you and you invite that power and you invite that presence to move upon the good that you desire, something happens. It comes from the head of you, the outer awareness of yourself, the sensual world, the world of ideas out there. And it drops down into your inner mind, your inner consciousness, the darkness, if you like, of the cave, or the darkness of the dense forest into which the knights had to go to get to the Holy Grail. There are many mythological stories that tell the story of what I'm talking about right here and right now. It's a process, just talking about a process. So you take it down into the inner mind, the heart, the center core of your being. And once it gets there, oh boy, does the Holy Spirit, the law of mind and action, go to work on that. Because that's the creative womb of creation, your inner mind. It's the sanctum of the Holy Spirit that responds to what it has been given, the seed that has been sown into it. And then it makes the way straight before you for this desired good to happen. If you stay in the faith of it, you stay in the knowing of it, you stay in the feeling of it, and you stay in the conviction of it, regardless of absolutely no evidence to back this up from the outer world. In fact, the evidence might be to the contrary. And nevertheless, you know what you know, you feel what you feel, you think what you think, you support in mind, in thought, in feeling, in conviction, and through the way you move through life. Knowing something is birthing itself or wanting to birth itself by means of you, and the action and the power of the one infinite intelligence as its own law of demonstration, of correspondence, of responsiveness is working on it. Imagine that. How amazing to be your own Aladdin's lamp, your own magic ring, magic necklace, magic wand. And you are. You just have to come to know that. You have to come to realize that, to believe that. Now, your wish is my command was spoken by another great one once upon a time as, it is done unto you as you believe. Jesus. It is done on you as you believe. Same as Aladdin saying, my wish is your command. Whatever you say, Master. Where are you in all of that? Now, once you get to that state, once you get to that absolute conviction that this is my good, it's here for me, it's already present in the invisible world, and I'm supposed to have it through expressing it out there in material form by the grace and the movement of the law of mind in action, the great Holy Spirit of life. Only believe all things are possible. Only believe. Think it, think it, think it, feel it, feel it, feel it, know it, know it, know it, and it has to be so, because that's how the law of consciousness works. And then, as I'm in that state of absolute open receptivity to this good that I desire, knowing of myself I do not do it. It is all of the infinite power and intelligence of the one moving upon my desire that's causing this to happen. I can relax. I can fall into comfort and joy. I can fall into ease. I can fall into appreciation and gratitude and praise for this great, wonderful one power, infinite being that is so gracious, so giving, so loving, so generous in my regard. And I can stay with that lovely feeling for as long as I choose to stay with it, knowing something great and good is happening through me. in me, from me, by the grace of the one. And then, when I've delighted enough in knowing that, and accepting that, and saying yes to that, I can get up, go about my business, get on with the daily life and living, and not give it another thought, because I already know this is already established in spirit, in mind. And then when it comes to me again, then I give it thought, I give it energy, I pat it on the back and say, great, you're on it, Spirit, you're on it, I can feel it, I'm knowing it, no matter what. And if that's a good that you're desiring, it's going to happen if you follow that simple way of being in prayer, of being prayerful. And we're always prayerful, but we're not always consciously so. So the more throughout the day you can be consciously aware and think of that and let it put a smile on your face and give you a giggle and put a hop, skip, and jump in your step, knowing, yeah, great good is happening. And then one little added note to that, when you are clear about the good you want, this is a most important thing to do. You always say, this good or something better. Or something better. Because if that doesn't happen quite the way you want it to happen, you go, oh, goody, 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 something better even is on its way. And then you believe in the something better, whatever it is, that's called unexpected good. We receive good that we expect and unexpected good. So this or something better, whatever it is, and you know what? You'll never be disappointed again. Go for an interview, it doesn't work out, you say, oh, goody, 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 something better is on its way. You go to get a house, a particular house, it doesn't happen, oh, goody, a greater, better house is on its way. You see? You want a particular healing, it doesn't happen, oh, great, something greater and better as a healing is happening. See? That's how it works. What does it boil down to? It boils down to attitude, mental atmosphere, emotional atmosphere, attitude. Staying in the energy of that which is upliftment, of that which is open receptivity to good. Staying with the picture of the glass half full and filling to spilling over. Now, the kicker is, and the added grace is, when you receive the good that you desire, you share it. And in the sharing of it, well, lo and behold, if it doesn't multiply itself and come right back to you, pressed down and spilling over. It's a good thing, as Martha Stewart used to say. But I say, it's a very good thing. But don't take my word for it. Test it. Put it to the test. That means you have to show up and make the endeavor. You have to embark upon the journey. You have to find the lamp, the grail. And to do that, you have to go into the dark. You do. Whether it's a dark cave or a dark forest or whether it's deep down into your inner conscious awareness, it's all the one thing. Life is very, very, very full of symbols. Symbology is really second nature to us all, to read it, to understand it. And isn't it interesting, all the great ones who realize great things, they say the signs never come before the good, the signs come after the good has been received. The signs arise and you say, oh yeah, that's right, I see that and this and the other. So stop going out there looking for signs. You are your own sign, my dear. You are the sign. You're the sign that you are the image and the likeness and the human representation of your Creator, the One. And as such, its power is present to you and you get to use it. But use it for good. Choose this day, as Monica reminded us, a blessing or a curse. Because remember, the law of mind will work no matter what deep thought you think into it, whether it's a negative or a positive. So be careful not to be choosing on the cursed side of life, the not so good side of life. You don't want to have those experiences. So if you don't want bad experiences, don't think in that way, don't feel in that way, steer clear of it. And we have this thing which we call in our teaching the golden key method. And that was introduced by Moira Foxe, a great metaphysician, a great spiritual teacher. And his simple formula was, take your mind off your problem, all that's unwhole and unwholesome, and put your mind on the good. Put your mind on the one who can take you through any challenge and realize good as a result of that. Now, where would you rather live in your mind? On the affirmative side or on the negative side? Because whichever side you choose, that side is producing all of the experiences in your life. You can just look at your life, and that'll be very self-clear to you. That's why people say all the time, oh my God, I knew that was going to happen. Well, congratulations, you're a great manifester of knowing what's going to happen. It happened. Good for you. Now, it worked on the negative side of your life, but it can equally work on the affirmative side of your life. Just reverse your emphasis, your focus, and your concentration. And again, be excited, be delighted. This is good news. Put it to the test. Work it. Work it, and it will work for you, because that's how spirit swings. That's how life works, according to the law of consciousness. And the law of consciousness is the law of attracting unto yourself what you're thinking and feeling. It's the law of reciprocity. What you put out there comes back to you. It's the law of correspondence. It corresponds to your thinking and it corresponds to your feeling. I mean, how many times do we need to be reminded of this before we start connecting the dots and working the law, not ignoring it? My dear, all power is available to you. All power, the power of the kingdom is available to you. And as Jesus said, the kingdom is not there, it's not here, it's not up there, it's not down there. It is within you, and it's the kingdom of consciousness, my dear ones. Wake up in it and use it to your good and the good of all of mankind, womankind, childkind, and all of creation, because heaven knows we need clear, conscious work going on to help men fix and heal our world, because we can. There's nothing hopeless out there. The world is not in a hopeless state. The world is in a state whereby it needs healing, and you are the one that's called to help do this and midwife the new wonderful life that we can all live on this beautiful planet when it is a planet of serenity. And you're the means by which this can happen. That's how great you are. My goodness, you're amazing. So amaze yourself, because that's the only one you need amaze. And remember, for now, I leave you with, you are the point of light. You are the point of power, through which the one, the infinite, the creator, chooses to express itself in all of its radiant magnificence, if you allow yourself to be the outlet to the inlet of its grace and love. And that's the truth, my dear ones. And so it is. And so is Reverend Catherine now. She's going to come and share some wonderful good with us.
This is the point in our service where we often share messages that our members and our friends send to us about what's going on in their lives, suggesting to us how we are fulfilling our mission, which is to honor your presence, to nurture your spirit, and to enrich the lives of all we serve. And this is one of those messages. I don't think I ever imagined that this pandemic would last this long. I'm especially grateful to have several ways in which I can see familiar faces from our center on YouTube and in Zoom meetings, the services and the classes. I sometimes stop by and ring the bell and leave a donation of food or money. I'm keeping myself safe, and most of the people I see are as well, so I am grateful for that. I know that better times are coming, even if they are months away. Thank you so much for being steadfast at Redondo.
Thank you, Reverend Catherine. What a beautiful message, and we love to receive those messages, and thank you to the dear soul that sent that in. And yes, and yes, and yes, all is well, if you know all is well. And we're going to keep ourselves high in energy, and we're going to know fullness. We're going to know plenty, not just for ourselves, but for all people and all of creation, a fullness and a plenty that it is meant to experience and that it is created to experience. And so are you, and so am I. And it doesn't matter what our daily bread is. You hear me say this over and over again, whether we just have a few crumbs today or whether it's a big, huge, great loaf we have today. As long as we're willing to share a crumb or two or a big slice or two, that will always keep the coffers filling to full. I promise you, but don't take my word for it. Test it out. I'm a great believer in testing things out and come to your own truth and your own awareness. So join me now in knowing this. Divine love consecrates my gift, goes forth to heal, to bless, to prosper, truly. All those who give and all those who receive. And I am so happy and glad, and I rejoice in the sharing of my good, eager to. And I release this gift with love. And so it is. And so you are. And so remember, my dear ones, this really is the season for nonviolence. It's 64 days, began yesterday. The first day was dedicated to courage. And it talked about Eleanor Roosevelt saying, the things that you cannot do, you must do. So have courage of mind and heart and body and soul, and know I can because I am, which is our love cry for this year. And do what you can do with what you have and where you are right now. That's all that is required, nothing more than that. So know that you're loved, know that you're cherished, know that we keep you close in mind and heart, and we're very deeply grateful to you for all your good thoughts, your good deeds, your good feelings, and the support of this community. And feel good about yourselves, because you are in community. Great good things happen, actually, because you are part of this community, and we form this together as one. Great good things happen. You'll never know all of that good. You'll know about some of it. But trust, great good things are happening because of you being part of this amazing community, which is an idea in the mind of God that all the time wants to expand itself by means of you. So join me now in our prayer as we know for the world healing of minds and bodies and hearts and soul, and a deep desire opening up in us all to be warm and welcoming unto each other, to include each other in the great awareness that we all belong to each other, that we are one family, the family of this wonderful planet Earth. And ours is to take care of this planet and each other. And there's no getting away from it. No matter how much we fight it, that's what's going to happen in the end. So let's be on the bright side of that. And let's be healers and not the opposite. So know with me right here and right now, as we offer this up for peace in our minds, bodies, hearts, and souls, and love that includes and is unconditional through us all, coming from us all, to rise up in us all. So this is what is known right now. I know divine love enfolds me, divine light leads me, divine life lives in me, divine wisdom inspires me, divine compassion expresses through me, and divine power protects me. All that I am is Spirit's life and expression. Oh, it is good and very good. With deep joy and generosity filling me, I go forward now in sacred service, supporting a compassionate world that works very well for all. I move through my days with grace and ease, in peace and love, in health and wellness and fullness and plenty, and in loving relationship with all. What I now know for myself, I know for all of life. There is only God. There is only God, and there is only God by means of you. How else will the world know there's God if it doesn't show up by means of you and me? So have a blessed continued day. Open yourself up to a wonderful, giving, caring, loving, kind week, because what you are, you will attract back to yourself. And know that without you, the world is incomplete, and the job of Spirit cannot be complete without you. You are indeed that light that we need, that love that we need, that generosity that we need right now. Thank you for being open to knowing this, and more, for choosing to be it. You are simply amazing grace. So let us all be that. And let us all show up as the best of ourselves. Why not? I can't think of any other else we'd rather be. So until we meet again, thank you. Remember you're loved and cherished, and I leave you with the farewell of the children. Now our peace song.